So, you're finally ready to take the plunge into a premium credit card, and you're now willing to spend a little bit more on an annual fee for something like the American Express Platinum or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So in this video, I'm going to help you guys make a decision on which one is the best for you, because there are situations where each one does have its pros and cons. So without further ado, let's talk about each one and leave a comment down below which one you think you're going to pick up or which one you already have and why. But let's get into it. Now, spoiler alert, I'm a big fan of the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and that's the way that I personally lean, but as I mentioned, there are situations where the American Express Platinum is a little bit of a better choice, but let's run off and kind of compare the two from beginning to end. So first and foremost, let's talk about that annual fee. From an annual fee standpoint, the American Express Platinum card is $695 per year, which makes it I believe the highest and most expensive kind of consumer graded card, aside from the Centurion card and the Black card and things like that. And then you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is a $550 annual fee, which both fees that are nothing to scoff at, they're both pretty high, and you can definitely make do and get outsized value for each of these outside of the first year. Because the first year you do get that sign-up bonus, which we'll touch on right now. Now, in terms of sign-up bonuses that are public-facing, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is at a 60,000 point sign-up bonus after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months, so that's 60,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points. And right now on the website on American Express, it's 80,000 American Express points after spending $8,000 in the first 6 months. So it's technically the same in terms of a ratio, but you do have to spend double in twice the amount of time for the American Express Platinum versus only 4,000 in 3 months for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But if you guys do look around, there should be some links that give you up to 150,000 American Express points with that same spend threshold. So if you guys look around, maybe I'll find a link and leave it down below, but the current public facing offer is 80,000 for American Express and 60,000 for Chase, and for the Chase one, it's pretty much impossible to find any other one, so 60,000 is what you should expect in terms of sign-up bonus for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So right off the rip, you might start to kind of think about and say maybe the Amex is already better because of the sign-up bonus, but again, always remember that these different point currencies are not created equal, so maybe those 60,000 points to somebody like myself is much more valuable than the 80,000 points you get from American Express based on transfer partners, based on their portals, and things of that nature. So again, not everything is created equal, so definitely don't just jump at the first thing you see. Now the 150k sign-up bonus, if you find that one is a pretty crazy sign-up bonus, and I would take advantage of that, but let's kind of go into this rest of the cards to see exactly what else you get. So from a spending category standpoint on the American Express Platinum, you get 5 points per dollar spent on any travel purchases either booked directly with the airline or booked directly through American Express, and that is the only real spend category. You also get 5x back on all eligible prepaid hotels booked through the hotel collection, but again, that's very niche and you have to go out of your way to book that. And then finally you get 1x point on everything else. So this is, by all intents and purposes, purely a travel card. So if you're going to book a lot of travel, this will give you 5x back on all travel and nothing else. So definitely keep that in mind. And then if you go to the spending categories, you get much more on the Chase Sapphire Reserve side. So you get 10x back on all hotels and car rentals booked through the Chase portal. You get 10x back on all Lyft rides, which technically ends March 31st of 2025, so keep that in mind. Then you also get 5x per dollar spent on any flights booked through the Chase travel portal. You get 3x per dollar spent on all dining purchases, and then you do get 3x back on all travel. And what I like about the travel category here is that it's pretty much anything. So think subway rides, bus rides, flights directly with the airlines, anything like rental cars. Anything that involves travel or transportation, you get 3x back, which is a huge category, and Chase is very, very generous with what they consider travel versus not. And then finally, you do get 1x back on everything else. So if you look at it from an annual fee and just a spend category perspective, right now the Chase Sapphire Reserve is winning because you get way more spend categories than you do with the American Express Platinum, and it's a little bit cheaper to own for the full year. But now let's get into the actual benefits and how you actually get outsized value for these annual fees. And I'm going to start with the American Express Platinum because there is a lot that goes into it, and this is essentially just a metal coupon card to kind of make sure that you try to get as much value as possible. Now, the way that I look at this is, if I wasn't already spending the money on this stuff, then to me, it just kind of doesn't make sense, and this would be an added expense because at the end of the day, it's not going to give me outsized value if I wasn't already paying for this stuff. So for instance, you do get a $200 hotel credit per year, so you get $200 back in a statement credit each year on prepaid fine hotels and resorts, which is a hotel collection that American Express has in their portal. And if you stay at these hotels already on a yearly basis, then this is a free $200 to go towards that. But you do have some other common ones, which is this $240 per year streaming credit that you get. So you get $20 per month every single month if you put some streamers on your Platinum card. So for instance, something like Disney Plus, the Disney Bundle, Hulu, the New York Times, Peacock, Wall Street Journal. If you enroll in these and pay on a monthly basis with your American Express Platinum, you do get $20 per month towards these streaming services, which does pay for something like the Disney Bundle, which I believe is $17 now at this point per month. Now you also get Priority Pass with the American Express Platinum as well as Centurion Lounge access. Now Priority Pass values this at around a $400 or $450 per year value, but it really depends on how often you travel, which airports you go to. Priority Pass lounges are more readily available, and there are a decent amount of Centurion lounges, especially when you go internationally, but surprisingly, the Sapphire lounges, if you do find one, since they're so much newer, they are a little bit better in my opinion. You also get a $200 airline credit, which you can use towards stuff like baggage claiming and stuff like that, so if you do travel enough, you can get another $200 worth of value. You also get a $200 Uber Cash gift card essentially, which is basically broken up on a monthly basis. So you do get $15 per month on Uber, which is for Uber Eats, as well as just regular Uber, and then you get a $20 certificate in December to give you that $200 worth of value. You also get a $199 per year Clear membership, which again, if you travel more than just a couple times a year, it's definitely worth it to get because Clear just makes you pass everybody. So that's another $200 value. You also get a TSA PreCheck and Global Entry credit, which I believe is a $100 value over the span of 4 years, which helps you get through security. And then lastly, you do get $100 towards Saks Fifth Ave, which is broken up into bi-yearly, basically giving you $50 per every 6 months to spend at a Saks Fifth Ave. So again, if you do end up going to all these places and you do already spend this type of money, then yes, of course, you're gonna get outsized value and you're gonna get more than the $695 annual fee value that we established earlier in this video. And then I did almost forget to mention that you also get $155 per year for Walmart Plus to give you free shipping, which I believe is a $13 a month value. So that's something that, again, if you already are paying for it, this will definitely take advantage of that and be able to then offset that against the annual fee. So overall, if you start to kind of think about this, see exactly what you already pay for and see what this is going to help you kind of offset to see if it's worth the $695 annual fee for you. But I do wish there was like some kind of holistic kind of gift card or gift certificate or something that you get by paying that $695 annual fee, which is exactly what the Chase Sapphire Reserve does, which we're going to talk about right now. So the first and number one perk that you do get out of the Chase Sapphire Reserve is going to be this $300 travel credit that immediately offsets that $550 annual fee to $250. And this $300 travel credit, some people get confused because it is categorized as a travel credit, but it can be used for anything coded as travel. So again, like I mentioned earlier, bus travel, subway travel, taxis, Ubers, Lyfts, anything that is travel and transportation can be used towards this $300 credit, and it's automatic and you don't need to use it through the travel portal. So for instance, even if you don't travel and you don't actually go on flights and things like that, if you're somebody that commutes every single day on the subway, spending let's say $10 a day to commute, that's a free 30 days worth of commute travel because it is going to be used towards that $300 travel credit. So it's very easy to use and it's automatic. You don't have to think about it. You just swipe your card and immediately you get a statement credit and it gets offset automatically. So that is one of my favorite perks by far of the Chase Sapphire Reserve, bringing the annual fee in my opinion down to $250. The next perk you get is also Priority Pass Lounge access, which is again very equivalent to what you get from American Express, although this Priority Pass is a little bit better technically because let's say there are airports that don't have Priority Pass lounges, there are some other perks that you can get. Basically, I believe you can get up to $27 per person at regular restaurants if they are part of the Priority Pass Lounge access, which are not technically lounges or regular restaurants that give you up to $27 for let's say a burger and fries, which is something that the American Express version of Priority Pass does not give you. But then you also get access to the Chase Sapphire Lounges. Now, the Chase Sapphire Lounges are absolutely beautiful, and I just recently went to the JFK one, and it was better than the Centurion Lounge. I went to both of those lounges to compare them, and the Sapphire Lounge was actually much nicer, much bigger, much better, but it's because it is brand new. But there are much fewer Sapphire Lounges out and about than there are the Centurion Lounges. I believe there's only 4 or 5 active ones for Chase, with a few more coming. But if your local airport does have a Chase Sapphire Lounge, this is definitely something to consider because they are beautiful lounges. So with those 2 perks alone, you pretty much offset the price of that $550 annual fee, and you do it without needing to go out of your way to get something else or spend something else. But on top of that, they add a bunch of other perks. So the next thing you get is a Dash Pass membership, which is valued at about $10 per month, and you get $5 per month to spend towards DoorDash. So that alone gives you $120 value for the yearly membership, and then $5 additional per month, which is $60 to spend towards food, which we do order on maybe not a monthly basis, but we order it a few times a year. Another $200 value that you get is a Lyft Pink membership, and as I mentioned, you do get 10x back per every dollar spent on Lyft because of some partnership that Chase and Lyft has. That does go through March 31st of 2025, but the Lyft Pink membership, you get 2 complimentary years, which is $400 over 2 years, and then if you do want to hold on to it, you get another 50% off the 3rd year, giving it a $500 value over a 3-year span. And Lyft Pink is great, so I've fully committed to Lyft over Uber because of this perk, because you get free priority pickup, you get to upgrade your car for free, you get free bike rentals depending on the city that you're in if they do have Lyft bikes. So it's a great little perk to have. Again, I wasn't paying for Lyft Pink before, but it is nice to have, and now I use Lyft over Uber because of that nice little perk. And then you also get $120 towards Nexus and TSA PreCheck over the 4-year span of needing it, so that does get included. You do not get Clear, unfortunately, which is one of the big ones that American Express does have over Chase, but again, if you start to look at the ease of use, it's much easier to offset the value, in my opinion, of the Chase Sapphire Reserve versus the American Express Platinum. And then there's one superpower of the Chase Sapphire Reserve that goes relatively overlooked, in my opinion, and it's not talked about nearly enough, and it's going to be that 1.5x multiplier if you use the Chase Sapphire portal. So for instance, like we keep talking about these points that you get, let's say you have 100,000 points in your Chase Sapphire Reserve account and you want to spend it on some travel. Now you have two different options here. You can actually go and transfer these points out, maybe transfer them to Air France and KLM to fly out to Europe or to British Airways, or maybe transfer it to a hotel partner like Hyatt and try to get a great Semper point multiplier, and we're going to get a little bit in the weeds here. Or you can go through the Chase Sapphire portal, make it a little bit easier, but know that you're getting 1.5x on that. So basically, those 100,000 points are worth $1,500 in the Chase travel portal. Compared to American Express, those 100,000 American Express points are only worth $1,000 through their portal. So like I mentioned, those currencies are not created equal, so definitely keep that in mind. And I've actually gotten great value out of this, especially for domestic flights and domestic travel. Normally when you try to maximize your point value through domestic travel and economy and things like that, you don't get a great Semper point multiplier, but if you go through the Chase travel portal, not only is it much easier to actually just look through there and spend your points through there, but you automatically get 1.5x, which is something that's already kind of difficult to do if you use transfer partners. Now, if you're flying internationally and you're trying to maximize business class, it always is better to go through transfer partners, but if you just want ease of use, set it and forget it, and get the most amount of value out of your points directly through Chase, booking through the Chase travel portal has been a nice cheat code that I've been using to travel domestically, especially to major airports. So again, that's one of the biggest and most underrated things about the Chase travel portal. And even when you talk about the sign-up bonus, the 60,000 points is valued at $750 from Chase, and then the 80,000 points is valued at $800, but you would think the discrepancy would be bigger than that when you first look at it. So as I mentioned, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to the Chase Sapphire Reserve card over the American Express Platinum. And again, American Express has this great stigma, the brand is known. When people slap their Platinum card down and it clanks around, it does give you a sense of, luxury and appeal and things like that. But Chase Sapphire Reserve is also a metal card. It just doesn't have that same kind of brand awareness. And I think it is changing a little bit because people are noticing that these American Express Centurion lounges are always overbooked. There's so many people that go into them. There's always a wait at the airports, especially major airports like JFK and things like that, and LAX. So the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a nice breath of fresh air that's a little bit different, and it's just so much easier to use and so much easier to get value out of it. That $300 travel credit and then Priority Pass alone paid for the card itself, versus on the American Express Platinum, you have to make sure that you're getting the full amount of value and make sure you're activating things and make sure that you are picking the correct spend categories. And then on top of that, spend categories on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you just get way more value out of it, right? 3x on dining, 5x on travel, 10x on hotels and rental cars booked through the travel portal, and then finally that 1.5x value on your actual points. Booking through the Chase portal is just the cherry on top. So my vote goes to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but again, the Amex Platinum is still a great value, especially in the first year if you find that 150k sign-up bonus. Let me know in the comment down below what you think. You guys know what my recommendation is. I'll leave my links down below for you guys to check out. Those are referral links. They do help out, but just make sure that they're the best links for you and the best sign-up bonuses. With Chase, it's pretty much just 60,000 points across the board. With American Express, it does fluctuate a lot, and depending on which browser you use, if you go in incognito mode and things like that, you could find some better sign-up bonuses over there. But leave a comment down below. Are you guys Team Chase or Team American Express when it comes to the credit cards? Do you already have one of them? Are you looking to get one? And then let me know in the comment down below what your favorite perk of your favorite card is, because I'm always curious to know. But that'll do it. If you guys want to watch more videos like this one, click on one of these right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.